been a few weeks since I've done one of these, but we're back on the grind with the top 10 lists. As you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be going over the top 10 third basemen in baseball for the 2019 season. Now, of course, a big part of these videos is yours guys' interaction with it. So, if you agree, if you disagree, if you like my list, let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. I love to see where you guys have players in your top 10 list, because I'm sure it's going to be different than mine, but it shouldn't be, because my list is perfect. I've done a bunch of these videos in the past, so I will leave a link in the description as well to the playlist of the top 10 videos that I've done already. So if you haven't seen those, you can go watch those as well. I've done starting pitchers, shortstops, and center fielders as well. Don't worry, this is something I'm actually going to finish for once. So like I said, we're going to do the top 10 third basemen. If this is something you guys like to see on the channel, make sure to leave a like on the video. It's the best way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. We are doing baseball content all the time on this channel. As you guys have been seeing, we are grinding out here, so make sure you sub if you want to see more of it. I've already told you to comment, so I won't repeat that. But I do got to tell you about my Twitter and Instagram, at GiraffeNeckMarc, a link in the description down below. Follow me over there to continue the conversation and continue to interact with me. So like I said, the top 10 third basemen in all of baseball. Third base is one of the deepest positions in all of baseball. Similar to shortstop, just a lot of really good players. So there might be some guys that you feel like aren't in the correct spot or maybe are left off the list. Again, it's up to your opinion. But let's go ahead and get started with number 10 for me. Coming in at number 10 is going to be a guy that came off of a big injury last year, didn't play too much. He was part of the Toronto Blue Jays and Cleveland Indians, but now he's going to find himself playing third base for the Atlanta Braves. That's Josh Donaldson. Like I said earlier, Josh Donaldson had some injury issues last year, only appearing in 52 games, but his numbers actually weren't terrible for that amount of time played. 8 home runs, 14 doubles, 23 RBIs. He hit 246 with a 352 on base, 449 slugging, and an 801 OPS. If Donaldson has the ability to get on the field and stay healthy for the Atlanta Braves, you look at the years past and you go, man, this guy could have a huge season. From 2015 to 2017, Josh Donaldson was one of the best third basemen, one of the best players in the entire game of baseball, averaging high 30s in home runs, close to 90 RBIs a season, batting average 280, on base percentage approaching 400 every season, slugging percentage over 550, and an OPS that was going to be over 940 every single season. For Josh Donaldson, it comes down to health. If he's healthy and on the field, he's going to be a beast. And do I feel like Josh Donaldson could be higher up on this list? 100%. But health is always an issue, and that is something that scares me, which is why I put him at number 10, but he could very well become one of the top third basemen in baseball again. Coming in at number 9 on this list is going to be one of the most underrated players at third base in baseball. It's going to be Cincinnati Reds third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Besides having one of the most fun names to say in all of baseball, Eugenio Suarez is also a fantastic hitter. Since getting major playing time in 2016, his numbers have improved every single season, with 2018 being the best of his career thus far. In 2018, Eugenio Suarez hit 34 home runs, 22 doubles, 2 triples to drive in 104 runs for the Cincinnati Reds. Suarez's batting average was 283 with a 366 on base percentage, 526 slugging, and an OPS at 892 to give him an OPS plus of 135, making him one of the most dangerous hitters at third base in all of Major League Baseball. And I think the Reds becoming a better team only helps Eugenio Suarez's case to be one of the top third basemen in all of baseball. Adding Kemp, adding Puig to that lineup, having Scooter Gennett come off a great year. You still got Joey Votto there. You got Jose Peraza. The Cincinnati Reds are going to be a team that puts up a lot of numbers offensively this year, and Eugenio Suarez is going to be a huge part of that. Not to mention he plays a pretty good third base for the Reds. If Suarez puts up another year like he does in 2018 and 2019, you can see him easily crack the top 5. Coming in at number 8 on this list is going to be a fantastic fielding third baseman, quite possibly the best fielding third baseman in all of baseball. That's going to be Oakland A's third baseman Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman coming off a strong 2018 where he pretty much played the entire season, 145 games, and like I said, the best fielding third baseman in all of baseball. That's right, better than Nolan Arenado. Not to mention he also hit the ball pretty well with 24 home runs, 42 doubles, and 6 triples. That is a ton of extra base hits. Chapman also hit 278 with a 356 on base percentage, 508 slugging to give him an OPS of 864, making him one of the most rounded players in all of baseball. Now, Chapman can find his way higher up on this list, and for those of you that do have him higher, I don't think you're wrong. Now, yes, these lists are trying to project how the players are going to do for 2019, and I don't think Matt Chapman is going to struggle at all. The dude has clearly shown he can swing the bat and play field at third base. It's just that the guys ahead of him, I think, have shown that they can do it a little more consistently, although again, Matt Chapman, another guy like Eugenio Suarez, who could easily crack the top 5. He really is a guy to keep an eye out for in Oakland. Finished 7th in the MVP voting last year, could finish higher this year. He's really that good of a player. Coming in at number 7 is a player who has actually won an MVP MVP award in the past, although last year, again, injuries and just not great production on the field is why he's a little bit lower on this list. That's going to be Chicago Cubs third baseman Kris Bryant. Now, don't get me wrong, Kris Bryant, his MVP season and his Rookie of the Year season put up some fantastic numbers, and in 2017, but last year, he dealt with some injuries and his numbers definitely struggled. Bryant only played in 102 games, but he did hit 13 home runs, 28 doubles, 3 triples, and drove in 52 runs. Batting average was a career low at 272, which is nothing to be upset about. On-base percentage still great at 374, slugging 460, which is a little lower than you would like, again, a career low, and he also had a career low in OPS at 834. But don't let those numbers fool you, he was still above average at third base with an OPS plus of 118. Here's why Kris Bryant's a little bit lower on my list than probably you expected. Last year, he did have the injury problem, and when he came back, the power just wasn't there for me. Now, do I think 2018 was indicative of the kind of player that Kris Bryant's going to be in 2019? No. But when it comes down to the guys that are ahead of him on this list, I pretty much think of it like this. Who do I think next year is going to have the bigger impact on their team? And I just don't think Kris Bryant is going to be as impactful as some of these other guys. While he may have a fantastic season, I just don't see him being better than the guys ahead of him. So that's why Kris Bryant's at number 7, but still a really good third baseman. Coming in at number 6 on my list is a guy that my New York Mets have let go a while ago, and he has just been fantastic ever since signing with this team. Yeah, I think you know who it is. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers third baseman, Justin Turner. Since moving to the Dodgers in 2014, Justin Turner has had a renaissance of his career, showing much better power, hitting for a higher average, getting on base at a great percentage, and just overall becoming a better player. Now, 2018, similar to some of the other players on this list, he did not play in a ton of games because he did have some injury issues, only appearing in 103, but his numbers were still fantastic at third base. Turner hit 14 home runs, 31 doubles, 1 triple, and drove in 52 runs. His batting average was .312 with an on-base of .406, slugging of .518, and an OPS of .924 to give him an OPS plus of 151. Now, Justin Turner is getting up there in age. He's going into his 34-year-old season. That's definitely something to take into account. And he has had an issue with staying on the field for an entire season. But even for 100 games, the dude puts up insane numbers and has so much value to that Los Angeles Dodgers lineup. There are points in the year where he's almost impossible to get out. I'm a big Justin Turner fan. I know he was a former Met, and he's pretty much been great ever since he left. But overall, I'm happy for the guy. I love watching him play, and that's why he finds himself at number 6 on my list. Starting off the top 5, we have got Washington Nationals third baseman Anthony Rendon, another player who I don't think gets talked about enough. As a New York Mets fan, I've seen Anthony Rendon just absolutely tear us apart for the last 3 seasons, and 2018 was no different. In 2018, Anthony Rendon went off, having another great season building off that 2017 he had. In 2018, Anthony Rendon hit 24 home runs, had a National League leading 44 doubles, as well as 2 triples, and drove in 92 RBIs. One thing I love about Rendon is he doesn't strike out a lot, having a second straight season of under 100 strikeouts. And oh yeah, he's a pretty good hitter as well. 308 average, 374 on base, 535 slugging to give him an OPS of 909 and an OPS plus of 137. Rendon also plays a great third base. He is one of the all-around great players in baseball. And for the Washington Nationals, it looks like Bryce Harper's not coming back there, so it's time to start building around Anthony Rendon. He is such a good player, and honestly would find his way higher up on the list, but third base is just so ridiculously deep. So at 5, I think Anthony Rendon's at a good spot, but man, he could find his way even higher. Coming in at number 4, which it pains me to do this because I think he is one of the best players in all of baseball and one of my favorites that is currently playing. But at number 4, I'm going to go with Houston Astros third baseman Alex Bregman, and it was so close between him at 3 or 4. You could say that 2018 was a breakout season for Alex Bregman because he absolutely went off, finishing 5th in the MVP voting. Alex Bregman hit 31 home runs, 51 doubles, which led the American League, and had a triple to give him 83 extra base hits on the season out of his total 170. Oh yeah, he also drove in 103 RBIs and stole 10 bases. Similar to Rendon, Bregman doesn't strike out at all, under 100 strikeouts at 85 for the year. Bregman hit 286 with a 394 on base percentage, 532 slugging to give him an OPS of 926 and an OPS plus of 156. Not to mention, he is elite at third base with the glove. He is a great third baseman. Last year was really a coming out party for Alex Bregman, and if he had more seasons under his belt, I think he finds his way higher up on this list, because if he can continue to produce at the level he was doing last season for the Houston Astros, ooh, it's hard to find a better player than him. And also, I think it's a little bit of bias because I'm definitely an Alex Bregman fan, one of my favorite players in all of baseball. But at 4, Alex Bregman, I think, fits perfectly. It just shows how incredibly good third base is. Coming in at number 3, I think it might be a little controversial. I think some people are going to have a problem with this, but I think this is where he belongs. We're going to go with Cleveland Indians third baseman Jose Ramirez. Now, don't get me wrong. Jose Ramirez, the last 2 seasons, has been insane, finishing 3rd in the MVP voting in back-to-back seasons. In 2018, it wasn't a bad year either. 39 home runs, 38 doubles, 4 triples, drove in 105 RBIs, and he stole 34 bases. And again, just like the previously mentioned guys, he doesn't strike out either, only 80 times last season. Ramirez hit 270 with a 387 on-base percentage, 552 slugging, and a 939 OPS to give him an OPS plus of 150. Ramirez was an all-star, finished 3rd in the MVP voting, won the Silver Slugger, pretty good fielder as well, and he can steal a base or two. The dude can do it all, and he's an absolute beast. A lot of lists have him at number 1, number 2. There's really no wrong spot for him outside of the top 4. But I think just like the MVP voting of the last 2 seasons, number 3 is the spot for him. Now, coming in at number 2 is going to be a player that actually found himself on my shortstop list at number 2, but he's also now a third baseman after signing with the San Diego Padres. Yeah, I think I just gave it away. It's Manny Machado. Manny Machado, signing with the Padres, record-breaking deal. He's going to be playing third base there, so we're going to treat him like a third baseman, and he's pretty damn good. Last year in 162 games, Manny Machado hit 37 home runs, driving in 107 RBIs. He also had 35 doubles and 3 triples, and stole 14 bases. Unlike your typical power hitter, again, Manny Machado, not a guy who strikes out a ton, only striking out 104 times last season. He also hits for a great average at 297, gets on base at 367, slugging percentage of 538, OPS of 905, and an OPS plus of 146. And here's the big reason why he jumps ahead of Jose Ramirez for me on the third baseman list. At shortstop, say what you want about Manny Machado. He's kind of hot and cold defensively. But at third base, he is up there with the likes of Matt Chapman and Nolan Arenado defensively. The dude is a freak over there, making plays that you can't even dream of. And he hits for some incredible power with that bat. So Manny Machado out in sunny San Diego, getting that big contract, playing third base, and being a part of that future San Diego Padre team. For those reasons, Manny Machado comes in at number 2 on my third baseman list. And last but not least, the best third baseman in all of baseball, a man who just got paid yesterday. We're going with Colorado Rockies third baseman, Nolan Arenado. As I just mentioned, Nolan Arenado got paid yesterday, signing a huge contract extension with the Colorado Rockies. And when you look at his numbers, you'll see why he got so much money. Since 2015, Nolan Arenado has finished in the top 10 of MVP voting every single season, with his highest finish being 3rd and his lowest being 8th. This is a guy who averages 40 home runs a year, 120 RBIs, hits at almost 300, gets an on-base over 350, slugs at 550 or higher, OPS over 900. He's a stud, and did I mention he plays Gold Glove defense? When you look at his 2018 stats, not too shabby. 38 home runs, which led the National League, 38 doubles, 2 triples, 110 RBIs. He had a batting average of 297 last year, on base of 374, slugging of 561, and an OPS of 935 to give him an OPS plus of 133. There is nothing that Nolan Arenado can't do. Well, maybe steal bases, but the dude is an absolute stud. And if you have anybody besides Nolan Arenado at number 1, you're crazy. That's right, I'm talking to you, Kenny. I know you don't have him at number 1. Nolan Arenado hits, he fields, he's so good. He's up there with Matt Chapman as the best fielding third baseman, arguably could be just as good if not better. And I don't want to hear the Coors effect. The dude is an absolute stud. Watch this guy play and you're in awe. So he comes in at number 1 of the top third baseman for the 2019 season. I would love to know your guys' comments and thoughts on this top 10 third baseman list down in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Remember to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it and you want to help support the channel. That's the best way to help out. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content coming at you with MLB stuff every single day. And I'm telling you, the next 2 weeks are going to be crazy. You don't want to miss it. Remember to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description down below. And that's going to be it for this video. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here, as well as this is my most recent upload from yesterday. Funnily enough, talking about Nolan Arenado. So if you haven't seen either of those, click through them, help support the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.